I'm Shawna Lee. This is Infinity Readings, and this is going to be the reading for Scorpio for the Easter of 26th season, the equinox, and all of that. Spring session. This is what we're getting. Okay, so we'll open the cards here. We have the Earth Plane and the Higher Realms. So that's what we're tapping into to get the answers here for you, Scorpio. The first card that we have for you is the Ace of Cups. Would you look at that, right? And this one's overflowing. So it means we have in our own self a lot of love to give outward to another. And that is maybe the focus, or that's just the energy sitting here. Let's continue to the next card. The next Earth card that we have is the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands always speaks to burdening, like someone coming in late. They got a lot of burdens upon them, and they got a lot of thoughts on their mind other than love, maybe, right? Demands on them that are, how would you say, making them feel heavier in life, right? Bringing them down, so to speak. They're showing me those little salamanders. They're accentuating that. And that's the activity of the wands, right? And when we get to the 10, we are at the end of the cycle. So there's a beginning of an end of carrying and a beginning of a new way of being. So there's something like this is trying to unwrap in your life, I feel, Scorpio, where we need to unburden ourselves from something here. And I feel like there's some kind of action, because those salamanders are all about the action that needed of that element. Because when I think of wands, I think of action taking. And there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to 10 steps in that way. And the 10th step is taking action to unburden what makes us feel, sluggish. We're slugged down by being overburdened. Okay. 10 of Wands. So that's really what I feel, is somebody's kind of not getting enough rest for their soul to be productive here. We may be taking on too many burdens. Now, where do we end up in the future? On the 3D plane, we get the Two of Pentacles. Two of Pentacles is literally somebody baking up a recipe here. They got all the ingredients, and I always see these little elves as like spiritual helpers or intuitive instinct, if you will, coming in to say, yeah, put a little water in there. It will help you with the whatever you're cooking there. And she's going down a list to make sure she's got all the ingredients needed. So I feel on a certain level we are aware that we may be taking on too many burdens at this time. And again, the cycle with that is to unburden. We have to stop. We have to put limits to what we will allow in so that we can do it in a pleasant and manageable state. And I do feel like, look at her face and then look at the 10 of Wands face, like this tired, like I need a rest. Here it's kind of energized, revived. It's like I'm baking a cake or whatever I'm doing there, and I'm doing it because I enjoy doing it, this kind of thing. So I feel like that energy is lost in the future no matter. And I do feel on an instinctive level, we know what needs to be done here. So let's continue. As we expand on the Ace of Cups, again, that's about us filling our love cup up enough that we have enough to give another in that kind of a way, in a companion kind of a way. They said companion, we have enough. So on top of that Ace of Cups, what do we get? From the Creatures card, we get the Ace of Swords. Yeah, there may be a truth that was revealed to us about our own inner selves, and a healing of the heart is what they said. We may have discovered some truths about ourselves having to do with the heart. Yeah, that created an energy field where it made it like a victorious feeling that we get as we go forward. And I feel it's in self-discovery mode, is what they said. And I think actually it's a carry on from the last reading, having to do with self-care. There's something here we discovered about ourselves and a truth that come forth that we may not have paid attention to. Now we pay attention to it, and suddenly we feel better and more energized about life, because it's like something come up here that we needed to see. We saw it, And now we can do something about it. We can change it. We can amplify it. We can degrade it. Whatever we need to do. It's something, it's a truth that we needed to see, and we got it. And let's go on that 10 of Wands, because I feel like it's going to help us unburden ourselves. You know, this truth about us. And I feel it's a characteristic about us that maybe needed to adapt or change or whatever in order to get ready for new partnership. Now, on top of the 10 of Wands, what do we get? The Death card. Yeah, like putting an end to transforming something in our life emotionally here. And again, we may not have been paying attention to this particular area in the past, or we just didn't realize it, and now we realize it, and now we can deal with it. And it's something that will continue no further. Could be as large as, a person or a situation or a scenario or a partnership that ended, and now we can transform, or anything outside of that in a spiritual kind of way. It's interesting. They're showing me that feather on the ground. I don't think I noticed that before. That's the same feather that they have in the Fool card. Both Fool cards, because they have 2 Fool cards in this deck. New beginnings. One is like we're excited to jump off into a new frontier. And then the next one is like we're jumping. We're going. We're taking the leap. So there's an essence of this here. They want to accentuate that red. And that's usually something that precipitates a move either way. And the Death card is about abrupt endings. But it's also about if something ends, then something else can begin. And I feel like it's like we were pushed into a corner to end something. How do I explain that? It's like something made us come to an abrupt end. And because of that, we are now on the right track. And even though it's, it is what it is kind of thing, it's what we needed to unburden from. Yeah, that's what it is. And the transformation shall now begin is what they said. So this ending needed to happen in such a way. Okay. Yeah. And I feel like it could be in a love direction. There's a truth we needed to see more clearly. And something happened that created that ability to transform, and this is what's happening. Okay, as we move forward, 2 of Pentacles, again, I feel a great lifting of that burdens. They're gone. And now we're able to kind of release from all of that energy field and move forward in a more joyful manner. So on top of that, 2 of Pentacles, what do we get? Oh, there's the Fool 2.0. Look at me just talking about him, eh? So now we're going to be excited to leap into a new area. And there's that feather again. It's following us. This needed to end and you need to go forward. That's kind of the sense I'm getting. Yeah. It's like we needed to cut that part of our lives out in order to go forward cleanly. And it was more burdening than we gave credit. And the thing is, don't dwell, just keep going forward. They're like, we're not even going to autopsy that little situation. We're just going to jump off the cliff and away we go, right? That's what I'm getting here. That will replenish. Now, okay, this is pretty clear cut for the Scorpio. Now, as we move into the Ace of Swords, we're going to bring on our alien buddies here with my new deck. And let's see what happens on the Ace of Swords. Again, some truths about a love here that is created and ending. What do we get on top of there to expand? The 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, again, some dicey energy here. 4 of Pentacles, playing cards. Yeah, poker face is what they said. Were we okay? The sense they're giving me is maybe somebody perceived us as having a poker face having to do with a relationship. But nonetheless, again, we are going where we need to go. Give me a moment here. The 4 of Pentacles initially can be about greed or keeping things to the self, and Pentacles, it could be in a monetary kind of way. The sense through this alien card, they're starting to set up a different frequency there. Really, it's like we got cards in front of us, and that could be those could be tarot cards looking into our future. They could be playing cards where we get go fish, that kind of thing, and the sense is that we have our set of cards here and we're looking at our life the way that it is. Yeah. We may have people outside of us curious about our life, but not for our highest good. And again, this is a kind of energy we're overcoming. Yeah, curious. They want to take cards from us, is the sense. So anyway, I'm going to leave that in the past. Someone might have been greedy with our energy to a degree that we didn't understand, but now we do, and we're overcoming, okay? So on top of the death card, as we sit in the present energy, if I can say it that way, being burdened, but we've learned a truth here that has kept us on par with everything, and we're going in the right way. There's an ending that had to happen. The Lover's card, yeah. So it was a relationship, is the sense. An end had to come in this relationship in order for us to go forward in the proper manner. This new direction, this was not for our highest good. In fact, I feel like we might, like this Four of Pentacles is morphing. It's like those cards, we might have been played, right? That's what I'm getting, yeah. And that needed to be seen in full HD, surround sound, Technicolor, whatever, like all its elements need to be seen. And I feel like we got it here, and that's what came to an end, was a lover's path here. So as we move into the future and this Fool and new energy, and again, the path going forward, I feel like there's not much resistance here. In fact, we're happy to have received this because there was just some things that weren't adding up. On the 2.0 there, what does the alien have to say? The Six of Swords, wow. So the Six of Swords, now this is not a traditional tarot deck, and I like getting tarot decks that don't really play off the traditional meanings to open the sphere a bit. I mean, aliens are going to open it wide open, right? So this really doesn't attach to the traditional meaning at all. And I'm not really a reader. I'm an energy reader, not a card reader. So this Six of Wands, it makes me feel lively, light and lively. Like all the flowers make me feel an inner peace and also a reverence for life and this kind of thing. Yeah, what am I feeling here? It's like I'm having a hard time. But it just is really an enigma. I feel like this card is an enigma. I just want to look at it and look at these flowers and the nice pretty colors and da-da-da. Now, everything is softly toned here. I feel like our life is just going to smooth out from here forward, because I feel like we had a partner that was engaged with us, and you could have actually been engaged to this person. Engaged to us to a degree where they just weren't for our highest good. But again, we may not have wanted to believe that, but all the signs were pointing to this, okay? So we had to give that up. We have to go in a new direction, and this new direction is this better, lighter way of being, okay? We'll just leave it at that. Now we'll get into the Metatron cards to expand on the Four of Pentacles. On the Four of Pentacles, again, we may have been played here. Cards were played and laid, and because those cards were played and laid, that cut us off from one energy, and now we're willing to go into this new frontier, okay? Now, on top of the Four of Pentacles, the Metatron card is the Infinity card. That bumps everything up to a high degree of, how would you say, infinite potential, infinite ability to open doors, da-da-da. The infinity is kind of like the wild card. It gets you everywhere, and it's all on the positive, right? So the sense is that even though we may not have wanted to see this in the tone that it really was, it worked for our highest good. Once, because, there's the trauma of the scenario not being what you thought it was, and and there's the shock of that, and then there's the ability to move forward. It all worked out for the best is the sense they're giving me. And I feel like if, I don't think it was such a surprise, this. I think this was a lot of energy building over time that was just flowing in that direction, and to the degree we just cannot deny it any longer. So now it's out in the open. Here we go. Yeah, that's not a good thing. So we need to get away from it. And I think in the past we were kind of hanging on to it, and it was dragging us down. And even though we've seen the signs, we weren't completely energetically removed from it. Okay. So as we move on to the death card here and the lovers, this means, an end to a relationship here where someone was intimate with another partner. There's an end of a road here. So what does Metatron have to say on that lovers card? Complete complex hexagon. I can't. My voice wants to shake. A lot of times I see this spider web of life. It's like everything is connected. And also they're showing me those in the center, the pie pieces. It's like equal balance. Was this of equal balance? No. Therefore, we have to move on to that which can be of equal give and take here. I feel there's kind of a weird energy that this energy is going to come back because everything's connected. They're like, yeah, that is connected to us still. Now we are disconnecting emotionally, but maybe, I don't know, physically, I don't know, something's funny here is keeping it connected. Now it may be the other person connecting our energy, but I don't know, we're not done with this yet. And you may not want to hear that. And I think from the universal flow, they don't want that either. So that person may be going against grain and coming back into your field when you least expect it. I'll put it that way. Okay. The Two of Pentacles, again, I feel great relief of able to enjoy life in a different manner because of the severing of this tie. And now we're willing to go forward unencumbered, not bothered by any of this. And the Six of Swords, I feel, is the lightness that we inherit as we go forward in this new energy. Yeah, it's kind of blank. I'm going to pull the last card. Metatron says, what? Circle, divine orchestration. Okay, yeah. I feel like there is a divine path here. I don't feel the person on the other side of this. I feel like the Scorpio is willing and going. They're reading the writing on the wall. They're moving where they need to go. The other person may have some problems digesting this relationship or understanding where it's at this point, or going against the grain. That's going to be on the other side of you here. But again, there's a divine path that we're meant to go down, so that will not be interrupted. So, man, yeah, you're in a zone here where you're releasing from a partnership, and it may have been gone in the physical for quite some time, but emotionally, I feel a great cutting here. And because of that, we may have some flittering of energy on the other side of this in not in agreement of that, wanting to challenge that. And so that's just to make you aware. You may be intuitively aware already. So the astrological tarot card that we have here is Saturn. So I'm going to look to the book here and see what Saturn has to say. Sometimes they can tie up a reading real good with just that one card. So the key words attached to Saturn are wisdom, challenge, maturity, trust, diligence, teaching, and restraint. Yeah, I feel like we had to utilize our own restraint, and this other person is not going to be able to resist, like to restrain themselves from coming back in your direction at a later date, is what I see here. I feel like that's, yeah, and it's discord, I feel, behind it. So they may even come to disrupt your field after a certain amount of time. Now, let's get into the energy of Saturn. Saturn can evoke a sense of dread in some people. They hear that Saturn return, which is roughly ages of 29 to 58. They are uncomfortable experiences, and so they avoid the thought of the wiser teacher planet. Old-fashioned astrologers even call it the great malefic planet. Don't worry, Saturn is nothing to be afraid of. He teaches us to grow up and show maturity. We must eat at least some greens if we're to enjoy good health, and we must save for the future alongside enjoying spending in the present. If we are reckless and indeed feckless, which again, if we're reckless and feckless, then certainly Saturn will give us a wake-up call, but most of us know how to learn from our mistakes. The appearance of this card is a strong indication that you should check whether you are behaving wisely in all areas of your life. And I feel like one of us is not. One of this part, the one that is, I feel like, and it could be you or it could be the person outside of you. I feel like, Scorpio, you are grounded. Like the writing was on the wall. We didn't want to read it. We read it. Now we know the truth and we're accepting it and we're going along that path. Like it's just ingraining in us deeper and stronger. I feel like the person on the outside of us, they are going to have a problem with, behaving wisely throughout, this whole separation process. Again, I do feel we are separate at this time, and it has been some time that we've been separate, but I feel like it's a delayed reaction the other person is going to feel, because they don't truly think you're going to move forward, or they always think that you should be in their back pocket, something like this, right? So when they see you or feel you moving on, they're going to want to come in and disrupt things because they figure they have a right to do that. But again, that's something they got to mature out of. They got to restrain from, right, in order to grow, but maybe this person's not in the growing mode. So that's what Saturn's there to warn you of this. There is some, weird energy that's off-putting, but it's on the other side of you. I think if you keep going, you are highly guided and, if not protected. I want to go back to this Six of Swords card because I was sitting with it for such a long time, and even though I was feeling kind of a relief, it's like an unburdening. It would be after the Ten of Wands, be like, oh, this is more of a graceful feeling, a good feeling of look, who doesn't feel good when they see flowers on the table or in a yard or in a field full of flowers? It just makes you feel lighter and more energized, so to speak. But they're showing me like the head here is kind of on a stick. Oh man. And then they're showing another person with the arms and stuff. It's symbolizing someone who's all intact. So there may be some mental issues in this person that they have to unravel through you, okay? And I think that they've got some hang-ups in the way they think about this relationship that they need to work out through you, and that may have happened, or it may be yet to happen. It may be down the road where they get the courage to come to you and discuss these things or whatnot. But again, there's a divine way that this is going to go. And unfortunately, it's not in the way that past partner is thinking. And we are also on a different track of trajectory going forward. But the Infinity card here, above and beyond everything else, is just everything will work out pretty smoothly, considering even the energies that each person holds. Like this one person could have animosity against the other person may have healed more. Even with all of that combustion, it will work out to the best in the future. And Saturn's here to lay that weird energy on top of things, just to let you know, is not to let your guard down as you go forward. And also not to play into that too heavily, not to allow that to disrupt you too much. And Scorpio could get thrown off track real easily. So just a warning there for that. So Scorpio, that's your reading for the spiritual side of things. Take care, have fun, and be kind. And we will talk to you soon.